So here we are.
Here we are. All right, fifth commandment today. And honor your mother and father. So I figured this would be an appropriate time for Ethan to kind of break this one down.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
So pretty much it means it means obviously honor your mother and father, but that doesn't just mean to do your chores when they tell you to. That doesn't mean just do your chores. It means to be loving and submissive, and when they have a sickness, say for example, like your father or mother was caught up in the disease of drugs, you want to be there for him or her and help them and all that stuff. So, and then it's not just about us kids honoring the mother and father, but it's about the parents properly disciplining the parents.
That's right.
And so now, so it says what we read today, and when we looked into it, it said that the parents have been given instruction to discipline your children, and pretty much it says if you discipline them wrong, you're gonna have some issues with God.
Uh-huh.
That's pretty much what it's saying, and so.
And it said to train them up in the ways of the commandments. So that's what the parents' role is supposed to be. And even for us older children, we're supposed to honor our mothers and fathers, and which also relates, like we read it goes further into life, because then we're learning to honor and respect authority, which, human nature, we want to rebel a lot of, the most part, most people don't want to be told what to do. We don't want to listen to authority and so on and so forth. I know I struggled with that for a long time. And the parent-child relationship relates to God and the child. We're reading how the parent is the lawgiver, the protector, the creator, everything for the child.
And even sometimes the savior.
So, so that's the parent's role is so important in this, because we are supposed to be teaching and training our child in the ways of God, and oftentimes that's uncomfortable. It can be uncomfortable to raise kids, because you have to say no, and you have to redirect and counsel and do all these things, and a lot of the times it's easier, and I say this to Ethan all the time, it would be easier as a parent to hand him a video game or a phone and tell him, go play with that, see you later. I wouldn't hear a word out of him. If we handed him any kind of device,
wouldn't even have to feed me.
He wouldn't even eat. He would just go and do his thing. And we wouldn't have to have nothing to do with him. Whenever he got on my nerves, he would say, go play video games, you'll be alright, see you later. And if we didn't care and love him, that's the kind of stuff we would do. And that's just one example. It takes energy and it takes effort to be patient and try not to get frustrated. And believe me, we all fall short. He falls short, we fall short. And it's also respecting grandparents, step parents, all across the board. It's just having respect for your elders. So yeah, that's pretty much our breakdown of the fifth commandment, and that's it, right, Ethan?
Well, not exactly. Also, there's a part of it where actually, so I have two examples from two movies. Both of them are kids' movies, so most adults aren't gonna be that interested. But so pretty much, there's one movie. So it's about Mary and Joseph and this donkey and a couple animals, whatever, and how they were going to Bethlehem so Jesus the King could be born. And so there was one part in the movie where their cart broke down or something, and Mary said, since God has given us a task doesn't mean it's gonna be easy. And it's the same with parenting. Just because us kids, like he was saying, if Keith or no parents cared for their kids, would have just handed them a video game and said, see you later. But really, what you're supposed to do is, like he said, discipline them, everything. And for me, sometimes that's a pain. That's me, though. But obviously, it's a lesson and everything.
Time.
Big time. So
Here's another piece that we looked at too, is that if your parents are not guiding and directing you in the ways of God, if they're teaching you to do something in sin or that defies God, then you're not supposed to do it. Ultimately, God is the authority that you should honor, because some of us have been raised, in environments where the parents might have been sick, like Ethan talked about addiction, things like that, and or whatever. They were just raised a certain way that they just don't know any better, and some of us were raised with, you know, that we're taught that if you get, you hit back, you hit first or whatever. There's all kinds of different things that we're taught. So that's the other thing too, is that, to decipher, and use discernment when it comes to this thing, because you might not, you might not have parents that are trying to live by the commandments of God. So it's definitely an interesting thing, and
there's one more thing I wanted to say, which was, so there was this movie, so the other movie that I was talking about, so it was pretty much saying that it was like this girl was telling the story about her dad and like how bad her dad is and stuff and horrible and whatever because she got a tattoo. And then she was saying if
baby Keith is having food issues. Go ahead, Ethan.
So pretty much she was saying like, I could say whatever I want about my old man, but if anyone else talks crap about my old man, they're gonna get the worst of it. And she said it's called being loyal. And it's actually kind of funny because the other kids said, no, it's called being psycho.
Right. Yeah, no, and that's a good point too, because it did talk about family and like how God has created an institution of family, and to be loyal and to look out for your family and protect your family. So, well, God willing, we'll be coming down with the 6th commandment tomorrow. This is the last 6 of the commandments that we're going over. So 5 through 10, these are the last 6 that are all about loving your neighbor as yourself. So Jesus again summarized that when he was asked what is the greatest commandments, he said to love and honor God with all your heart and all your mind and all your soul. And the second is just like it, to honor your neighbor and love your neighbor as yourself. So this is the second part of it. This is the last 6. So he summarized into two sections. The first 4 are about loving God, and the last 6 are about loving your neighbor.
We're the first of the second commandment. Big commandment.
Yep. So we're at number 5. Tomorrow we'll be at number 6, and sayonara.
Sayonara.